Okay, so today again we are going to talk more on that ABAC and we will see on a high level ABAC topic. Okay, so let's start. Srinivas has something, so we'll first go with his things. Okay, so Srinivas, what you are saying, and let me open that access group and then we'll see your scenario. So access group, let me open that user access group. So we have that insurance user. This is a role. Okay, let me close this one. So what you tried, Srinivas, can you please repeat? So this let me I think this is access deny if I'm not wrong. Let me just delete that access deny one for. So I'll go to access deny sysadmin, and like as I was saying, right, in all this, like if you're going for a like LSA or any exam, right, in future, security is one of the must topics. Security and reporting we have not talked, okay, but few questions will be there directly on security that implement they'll say that okay, you implement this scenario, that scenario. So definitely, like when I gave a full module was there on security. Okay, so I had to implement SSO, I had to implement ABAC and RBAC, all things together. So don't take this topic light. Okay, and that is where I requested like that, please do this POC. Okay, because these are like little it's not that very, what should I say, the topic which you will not even not do, then you'll remember. No, and these are topic little weird kind of, so you need to do that because it's little confusing. So okay, I removed that one, access deny. Okay, so now this one, yeah. So Srinivas, what you are saying, can you please tell me?
Yeah, I'm giving 5 to the read instances and write and delete instances, and
5 to delete instances. Okay.
and write instances and delete instances.
Mm-hmm.
And for execute reports and execute activities, I'm giving 0.
Ah, okay. So it won't work. Okay. So first of all, like, let me ask that. Okay, yesterday I told. Did you guys understood that what all things is? Tell me very honestly. Who understood it?
Yes, I got it.
No, like you know, right? So see, read instances means the instance of that class. Okay, means the cases. Okay, not only cases. Whatever, see, instance in Pega instance we say means that whatever, like it's like in a table per row is a instance. Okay, so if I'm going and doing like this, like, so this is the instance. So this we call as instance. Not only this one as instance, even if I'm opening that access group also, so it can be instance of any things because everything is stored in table, right? So the record, so that is what we say instance. Okay, the second is that like read instance means, can we read this instance, can we update this instance, right? And then can we delete that instance, so that is the instance. Okay, and rule, so can, after this is the instance, like now after opening this rule, can I update this rule, can I delete this rule? Okay, okay, so that is this one, read rules, write rules, and delete rules. So sometimes what we do, we just give a read access. Okay, let's say a junior developer join and we don't want him to modify anything. So what we'll do, we'll create an access group and we'll create access to role object and we'll just give him the read rules. Okay, so that he can only read. Okay, and then finally execute reports and execute activity. Okay, that can he execute report means he can run the report definitions, list view summary, those kind of things, and then finally execute this activity. So you can ask a question that why explicitly we have the rules and activities also rules, right? But why you have a separate for report and activities? Yes, it is separate because like sometimes it requires, right? So even though you have access, so in this kind of a scenario, when you have the access 5 for read and write rules and delete rules, you don't want them to execute reports. Okay, or you don't want to execute activity. So in that kind of scenario we do. Now if I'm giving this one and trying to create a case, it won't work. Okay, so Srinivas, why it will not work? Because if you think logically, to create a case, Pega will use activity, right, in their in their code, right? And if we do not have given access to, Pega will create a this one execute activity also and even run the report also. Okay, to create case. But if you don't give, then it will not work. Okay, so it's like it makes sense. Okay, let's try that. Okay, now if I'll go and try to create a case, it will not work. And you're getting it, why? Because execute activity, right? Like there are like lot of, when you create a case, if you trace, we'll see that there are like many activities which Pega calls internally, right?
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, add work and then finish assignment, many things there. But if you're not giving access, something is happening here, like yesterday, from yesterday, that user is not working. Okay, when I'm trying with this user, like other user, let me see admin 2, let me try with admin 2, something happened. Admin 2 users, and this has the user 4 role, and let me log in with admin 2. Yesterday also we tried, but the same thing worked with the other user. But it's good that you are playing and asking that questions, that what is the usage of that one, and usage is when you want to stop. No, it's not working some with this user set. Okay, I need to see manage dependent roles, use user only, everything is looking good from somewhere. Oh, this is a data class, sorry, my bad. Okay, so this is the data class, I need to put on work because the cases gets created from work, right? So activity will also be, so when we say, right, this let me add this qtm, this one work, let me add on work. So whenever we say here, right, so work means not only our work, whatever be the rule comes under this inheritance path. So it will be this class, and then it will be into this class, and it will be into this class, and also inheritance. So it will be take all the rules. Okay, so that will come, like whatever we come as under, it's like this is the parent, whoever will come, child, grandchild, okay, everything. Like if you're treating this as a parent, but obviously we should not treat this is like a child, okay, or grandchild. So whatever the restrictions you'll put on this grandchild, it will be go to the child, like, and then something like that, it will keep going on. So now we'll give 5 here, 5 delete instances, 5 read rules, 5, and here we'll give 0, 0. Let me try the creative case now. See, we are not getting it. You can see that cinemas, right? Let me go home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it will not create, we'll get an error. Okay, so let's see that. And this is where, like in this kind of a scenario, right, you need to keep like we haven't seen that logging, but yeah, like you can keep checking the logs as well, that how things works. Okay, so definitely we'll see something in the log. So here you can download the log, but I'm just checking in that one only. So I need to remove this admin conditions because I was trying with some other user, right? So usually we download. Okay, see here it is saying something. See, executions denied for class code. So this activity, see, all it is saying for code, because we were trying to create the case type, okay, of the code, but it's all these rules doesn't belongs to code class. You can see that, right? So most of the rules belongs to work test. Okay, but still it is saying, because it inherits and it acts runtime, that this is my rule. Okay, like how it acts, that like, okay, your grandparents is like acting that this is my things. If something is there of his children, like sorry, of his grandfather or father, right? So that same thing here. So these all activities is work class, so you can clearly see that it doesn't have access. So in some scenario, I mean very rarely we use this, but Pega has given. Okay, sometimes we use this, like you cannot run the activity or something like that. Okay, but like in my career, I haven't seen that explicitly we're denying some access to activity. Report we do. Okay, so that they cannot run report. And also, so this is one way to give a report access. And even in report also, usually for report also we don't give it from here, we'll allow 5. Okay, because if I'll execute, let's see, because if you deny report also, right, we can face some other issue also. Okay, so usually we do not do from here, but in some rare scenario you can like don't give the access to activity. Okay, it all depends, like if you have some business, like if you know that like the concept you can use in your business scenario, right? So not a problem. So see, now things is working. Okay, I think now see, again I'm getting error because I don't have access to run the report. So report is what, it's like kind of a doing a lookup, right? So that is where I'm getting issue. So we should not do anything here, especially on work class, right? Where we are creating a cases and other things, there we should not touch. Okay, we should give 5 to even create a manager, user, whoever that role kind of things is there. Now if I'll go and refresh, we should not get an error. See, it's working. Now if I create a case again, we should see that we should not get error. See, it is working and I can advance that case. So but sometimes what happens now, that people will say that okay, this person cannot run this report. Okay, so in that case, in report definitions, I think in somewhere we have this things. Let's say that I want to run this report and I want to restrict to some user, right? So somewhere we have a place where we can give the privilege or something. Okay, let me see. I'm forgetting in which tab, but somewhere I think in this one or in anyone remember where we can give conditions to run report. See here, so if you have this privilege, you can only run this, getting it? Hello. So you can let's say execute report or something. You are creating a particular, let's say you created this report definitions, but you want that this will be only executed by only this group. Okay, so then you can, let's say, run report. You created a privilege. Now you'll give this privilege to any user. Okay, so when you'll give this one, then it will work, right? Like for that user or for that particular user group. Obviously privilege you will give at a user level, like sorry, at a role level, right? In role you'll give, but there also if you want to add the conditions, you can create the access pane. Got it? So this is the one use case we talked. Okay, yesterday we saw sections, and then we saw delegate one, and then like how to stop running report. Okay, so this will not be executed by that user. Getting it? So now if I, let's say, do private edit and try to execute, I may get error because I don't have this one. Maybe I'm getting error. It's working for me. Let me uh, try the other report because I have the sysadmin 4. So what I'll be doing, but fine, you can try that. I need to add here some report and something. Okay, need to do, but that is how it is working. So if someone is asking a question that I want to give only report definitions to particular group or to users, so your answer will be that yes, in report definitions we have an options to give privileges. Okay, and based on the privileges we can control, okay, that who can run the report, who cannot run the report. And where you'll find it, I think in data access tab you'll find that, and you can assign multiple privileges. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Yeah, and this, like, I mean, there is no limitations in most of the places. Pega have given these things. Okay, you can assign this privilege. Even you can do it for the work basket and the work group also. But like in 7.x, like I use sometimes this privileges in work basket and other things. But now there are like many other things came, right? Like so, I didn't see that people are using much. But yes, based on the requirement, again I'm saying, okay, if you know the concept, you can think of that. Okay, I can go for that work basket, like adding privileges or not. Okay, so there are like many ways. Okay, one more thing is there, like, is that sometimes we think that I can hide the things instead of putting security things. I can hide, right? So whenever you think like something is coming in your mind, like let's say that something is there, how I should say it, that I can hide this one instead of putting security. Always go for the security things, because hiding is like just you're hiding on the UI, but still security concerns can be there. But so sometimes that kind of scenario will come. Okay, so now we are almost done. I'll just like summarize this one. So what happens, like where you use this RBAC? So we talk like sections, report definitions, delegated rules, execute report, these kind of a things. Lot of things we saw. We saw that you can control the whole things from the access manager. Okay. Last things which I just wanted to summarize is that how we use in productions, like how you'll get a requirement from. So business will come and say that I have these many groups. So let's say there is a user, okay, and they have a manager. I'm just taking two groups only for now. So in 7.x, you must have seen that you have a case manager portal and case user portal, and then also we used to create a case manager work group and case case manager access group and this one user access group. So we created, let's say this is the user group, user group. So we'll create, okay, so let's say if someone is giving a requirement, so you'll do like this, you'll create user group, okay. Then what you'll do, you'll create access group for both the users, okay. Now, okay, access group will contain portal. So in 7.x, okay, we have a case manager portal, we have this user portal, but now in Cosmos, Pega is just giving one portal. So that portal only you can customize based on the conditions, okay, based on the access group conditions or whatever, that this is the manager and this is the user. So this will have app name colon user, okay, for whatever way you want to create. So this will have the access group, okay, and this will have the app manager content, instead of manager it will have the user, okay. Then it will have that role, okay. It can have role 1, role 2, okay. It can depend, some role can be common also, okay. Let's say it has a 1 and one hand it has a 3, okay, it doesn't want 2, something like that, okay. It all depends, or managers will all have all the roles, okay. User can have less, something like that, whatever way you defining, okay. Role 3, and then inside that one you'll have and then inside this role you'll be depending on that, okay, manager should do what, okay, and user should do what. Based on that you can create privileges and you can configure access to role object for a corresponding class like we did for delegated, okay. So that is how you need to do that, okay. So usually we create a matrix sheet, okay. I don't know if anyone has seen that one, okay. So for access control usually business will create and then they'll say here something like that we do create, okay. So you want create, okay, access, create cases, access, run report, something like that they'll say, and then here they'll check mark, something like that. You'll get a good Excel sheet, and based on that you need to design using ARO. Got it what I'm saying? Okay, have you seen that? Anyone have seen that kind of a sheet in your application, in your project?
Not seen, sir.
Okay, not a problem, but like mostly yeah, senior person do this kind of things, but access control sheet comes, like it all depends like how it is coming, not necessarily that it will come in a sheet only, but I'm just like explaining that more or less you'll get something like this, okay. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to do that, okay. In loan one I'll also add this kind of one requirement, that who can do what, okay. I'll create multiple user group and there also I'll put this one, okay, so that you guys will do some real time. But like as I'm saying, right, whatever we are POC we are doing here, a similar type of things you try, do a delegated things, try to update, okay. Give one I give access to delegate for one users, okay, ignore for the other, something like that. You keep doing it, okay. Today I told that, okay, you can assign privileges to this one, this also you try, okay. Okay, so any questions? We are almost done on this topic, okay. Any questions?
So,
Yeah, go ahead then.
yeah. So, regarding this AR, actually in my previous project, this project, what happens is like, there is a scenario like, by using this AR only, I think they had implemented my leads and all. One user, as a manager or as a specific role of manager, he can able to see, he can able to open the particular work object and see on which stage it is, and he can have the whole, he can able to look into it, and he don't have like an access to edit it, or just his role is like he can able to cross verify, like a review kind of thing. What are the work objects for there, and what are the operational executives for there, or operational users for there. They can able to move it from, or they can able to work on that particular work object. So, means what is the role of AR on here? Because
I got your question. So
specific section, it is on whole work object.
so I'll tell you. So this can be handled in a two way, okay, Ganesh, okay. So let me rephrase your comment, and then you verify that I'm talking correct or not. So you have a manager and you want that manager can only read the cases, okay. Read the cases, okay. Read the cases means review the cases, but he doesn't want to update, so he should not have the update options, okay. Should not perform, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah, so this requirement can be achieved in multiple ways. Okay, one is that obviously with the arrow it can be achieved. Okay, that in arrow we can go and mark that right axis 0. Okay, for that this manager, but that we usually don't do. Okay, I mean, yes, it can be done, but this can be handled in a different way. And why I'm saying that you should not do in this way, because you, that manager is a manager, right? And like anytime he can have the access. Let's say that, and today he doesn't want to update anything, but tomorrow he can be, because he's a manager, right? Let's say if someone is not available or something wrong happened, so we should not give the zero access to him. Okay, first of all, I mean, obviously you can do that. Okay, you can verify with your business, but depending, like based on what I'm thinking or what I have seen, that we usually give the 5 access, but still we want to meet this requirement, right? So to meet the requirement, if you see here, when I log in with this user, right, let me go here. So what happens, we are seeing this go button, right? When we are clicking here, okay, we can see this go button, but we are not seeing go button for this one, right? Why we are not seeing, can anyone tell? Because this user doesn't, for this case, this user doesn't have any access. Okay, so let's say this case is assigned to work list or work basket, let's say. So currently this case is assigned to work list. Okay, so that is where can perform things comes into the picture. Means that this user, like if you remember, I was routing to admin 1, admin 2, admin 3. So admin 2, I can see the go buttons. Means whatever the case is assigned to you, you can see that. Okay, apart from that, you cannot see that. It means you cannot go, but still you can view that. Okay, if you have the case ID, you can view that, but you will not see the go button. I'll show you. I'll search, maybe I'll show that cases. Okay, getting it. So basically we can restrict through the viewing conditions. Okay, means you'll just give the read access through that. Means that user will not have the go button. Getting it? Means like can perform is that when rule. Let me show you this one. So this go button, right? So if you go to this one, here also Pega is using this can perform something when condition. So it checks that. Okay, like if this case assigned to you, means either you have the access to, let's say a case is assigned here. Okay, so in what kind of a situations manager can see the cases? Okay, either he has the access to the work basket, okay, or he has the access to mm, work list. Okay, so in that way he can see the cases or he can search that, but he should not see the go button. So we should usually do something here. See here we have that can perform assignment. Okay, and px assigned operator. So few things is there, can perform assignment. So mostly we do something here. So you can update this when rule. Obviously it is a out of the box when rule, but let me see in this one we have something. Okay, so I'm not seeing that. Can anyone tell why I'm not seeing that period rule?
We have to enable some depicted in the operator profile.
Correct. Yeah. So if we are like not able to search period rule in preferences, you need to go and enable debugging. Okay, here diagnostic features. Then only you'll be able to do it. Okay. So I saved it, and then if I log off and log in, I'll be able to do that. So see pj can, this is the things, right? So here you can see that can perform assignment. Okay, and then so in this when rule, this is a final rule, but we can customize this when rule. Okay, or they're like we need to find some other way. In that way, what will happen, he will not get the go button. I mean, he'll just have the access to uh, this one view. Okay, so this is one way. Okay, you should hide this go button, so he'll not, anytime he'll not get that options to go to perform mode. Or the other way is you can just go and mark that to write instance to 0. Got it, Dennis?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
No,
This
you're not
scenario is
sound,
like
you're not
there
sounding.
are multiple stages over there.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose stage 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
and irrespective of whatever the stages it may be. If suppose it is in the second stage, manager can open that particular work object, and for him it should be in a review mode.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
if it is in a
yeah, yeah. So
stage 1
let,
also,
yeah. So
it should
let's
be in
see.
the
Q this one, right? So I'm not able to see the cases. Let me see. Let me go back to here. And this one we created cases, right? So Okay, I think that is a split for each. That is where we are not saying. So basically, this doesn't have the assignment, right? It doesn't have assignment. So uh,
Yeah.
let me see. Okay, let me create a case and assign it to admin 3. So what I'll be doing here, I'll create a case here. I'll just go and modify for quickly routing, right? Code details. So in code details, it is current user, specific user, and I'll say admin 1. So this means that only admin 1 can update this case. Update this case. I mean, it's not that other cannot update, but he will not go the he will not get the perform things, right? So let me create a case. So it will go to, after create, it will go to admin 1. So let's see that where this case is sitting, assigned as worklist. See, this case went to admin 1, right? And this users have the go button because this is the admin. Now if I go and search this case, okay, with this user, I think my search is not working, unfortunately. So how I can see that? That is the problem. See, so here if I'll open somehow, let me see like this, and there is a trick. So I'll just tag that case here. So then I'll be able to see that. 1 second. And then from here I'll open that case. What is happening? Yeah, see, so somehow I got the access here. So if I'll now click, see, he doesn't have anything. He can see all the stages, what is happening, but he cannot update, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how it is getting stopped? So the first thing is it is getting stopped is like Pega have few out of the box feature. Okay, means if the case is not assigned to you and if you don't have access to that work basket, okay, where the case is sitting, you will not be able to perform that case. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Pega has that out of the box capability. Like it's like same thing if I relate with the real time scenario, right? So if you have access to house you can go inside, otherwise you can just like roam around like house and go, something like that, okay? But if you have the access, okay, then you can do that. So either if the key is assigned to a work list, to your work list, then you can access, or if the key is assigned to a work basket and that work basket you have the access to that work basket, then only you'll be able to do it. Otherwise it will show you like this. So you can see that cases, okay, manager can, let's say someone call manager and say that, okay, can you please tell the status? So he can search the cases, he can see that, but he can just tell the status, he cannot update it. But let's say if somehow if you're routing, like let's say if you route it to here and then deactivating that his access, then there is no meaning, right? Let's say this case is there, you assign this case to manager and now you deactivated his status that he cannot update it, then this case will never get processed, right? Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what we were seeing, what I was explaining. Any other question? See, there are many ways to handle the core concept. I told, right, that is what it is, okay, and now it's up to you like how you're implementing. You need to, and more and more POC will do, you'll be able to develop that thinking process, right? So I always say that thinking process is not that it will come in a day one. More and more POC will do, more and more scenario will do. And whenever you ask the questions, right, obviously like I can explain, but whenever you're getting this kind of a questions, you come and ask, but try to do a quickly POC. What I do, I just do in front of you only. Yes, like I know the thing, so I do little fast. It will take some time for you. Okay, you need to spend some time, right? So you'll be able to also do it. Okay, so we learned. Okay, ABAC. Oh, what is ABAC? Okay, so can anyone tell what is ABAC, or if you have used ABAC? Anyone? Anyone have tried that ABAC, Pega ABAC?
Instead of mapping privileges to the role and controlling the access, we uh, can restrict the access based on the certain property values, which can be mapped to event condition.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to talk? No one knows apart from Sai.
So, suppose suppose if marketing or sales people, so therefore marketing people's one screen should be visible and for sales people another screen should be visible. So depending on a type, so what are the type of user it is, or depending on particular attributes of property, that particular access would be provided as Sanya told.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so see, a few minutes back, Ganesh asked a question that, right, how we can stop managers from updating. But if something is assigned to his work list and if you're stopping, that's like bad thing because obviously case will not process. But what if that we have given access, okay, to that work basket to a manager, okay, and in that work basket, if we have a 10 cases, but we want that 5 cases that he cannot work on, even though he's seeing that, okay, he cannot update those 5 cases. So in that kind of a situation, not only that kind of situations, in that kind of situation also we can use ABAC, Ganesh. Okay, that even though you have given access, okay, but from that like access also like means he has that access to house, he has the access to room, but now you want to restrict that user from accessing TV or from accessing any device in the house. So he can see that, okay, that it's there, but you can give an access, okay, like, sorry, you can control an access that either he can read that instance, write that instance, means even you can stop from reading as well, okay. So that kind of a things we can do from this one. So more granular level, okay, we are going on that attribute value, okay. So as of now, what we were seeing that based on the privileges and other things. Now in that privileges also, when we're creating access lanes, we can contribute, like we can use that attribute, okay. But that was not great, so then Pega came up with this idea, attribute based access control. This was not there before. Pega have added from 7.4 or 7.2, I don't think it was there in 7.2, 7.1, 7.3 or 7.4, okay, something like that. Exactly, I didn't remember the version. And this is one of the most powerful things, okay, I have felt, okay. But if you're not using in the right way, it can create a lot of problem as well, okay. So on a high level, we'll just go and see that, like, so first we understood that usage. Let me talk about the another scenario which Pega is talking in their academy also, okay, here. So what happens is that, let's say, we did you did like yesterday I was talking, right, that when you log in, okay, you get a groups, okay, from some other system, okay. So let me come here on this one slide, or let me see here. Let's say that a user info, okay, so user info is stored, okay, and let's say here Srinivas, okay. So this is one user, okay. Second user is Pawan, okay. Third user is Sai. Let's say we have 3 users, okay. Then what kind of details we are getting, okay. So we will get from the other system, external system name, email, okay. And then let's say one attribute is security clearance, okay. Security clearance, something like that. Security clear, okay. So this is the 3 attribute, okay, which we are getting from external systems when we are doing the login, okay. So we got for first user, let's say this one, okay, Pawan, and then Sai, okay. And then they have email address also, and then security clearance is for Pawan, it's a 5 6, let's say, for Pawan 5, and for Sai it's like 9, okay. Now, okay, your requirement is when you're getting this kind of a thing, so what your business saying, okay, that your business is saying if 6, okay, if 6 or more than 6 or more than 6, okay, then user can view or like, okay, read, write, okay, or view or update. In terms of business I'm saying user can view and update, okay, if more than, like, let's say less than, something like that, or less than, then only view, okay. So getting it, understood it. So this is your requirement, okay. So when we call that API, right, for SSO login, OpenID or anything, so you'll get these details. So now you need to hold this attribute somewhere, so you can hold on so when we do a logging, right, when we do SSO login, through SSO login we get some attribute from external system, like you'll get the name, email ID. So you'll, with this one, you'll, with the email ID, let's say you're creating the operator ID, you will give the name also, and then you'll get the security clearance. So you can create another attribute for obviously name and email. Pega has that attribute, and then you will store that security clearance on operator page, okay. Getting it? As of now you're getting it? Hello?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you'll store on operator page. Now this value is there on operator page. Now you need to use this, okay. So your SSO is done, okay, you got this security clearance, it is there on your operator page. Now what you need to do, you need to put a conditions, okay, in such a way that this user can do this much, this, and these all users, like let's say a case is there, okay, a case is there, okay. So a work basket is there, let's say approval work basket, approval work basket. So all these three users have the access to this approval work basket, okay, okay, approval work basket, okay. But in this one, okay, now what will happen, based on this one, Srini can, okay, view and update that, okay. But if Pawan can only view the cases, right. So see here, like these all belongs to the same group, okay. They all have the same access group, they all have the same approval work basket. Means you are seeing that we are giving a grander access, but now based on the security clearance they can view or update the cases. Earlier what was happening, that at a role level only we were giving that what they can do, what they cannot do. So if you want that all three are from the same group, and if you want to say that Pawan cannot update, then we need to create like access win. So there also we can do that, okay. But maintenance was tough or like something, and then Pega came up with this idea, okay. And so now you can use this one, attribute based access control, and put the conditions on the security clearance. Getting it? You are able to compare that?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me that if I have to do the same thing, so let's say this all belongs to a user group, user access group, okay. Now sorry, so this all belongs to user access group, okay. Now so this all belongs to user access group, okay, same access group, okay. They have the same, if they have the same access group, means they have the same role and everything. So now if you want to implement this kind of a thing, security clearance with ABAC, how you will do that? I just told 2 minutes back. Let me know how you do that. How we can do that? Did you got that question? Hello, did we got the question? Alright, let me know if you got the question at least.
No.
Okay, let me repeat the question. Okay, so the question is, Srinivas, Pawan, Sai have the access group. Okay, the access group name is insurance colon user. Okay, so this is the, okay, and they have the access, let's say code case type. Okay. Okay, so now the requirement, you got that requirement, so all has the same access group. Okay, and your requirement is Srinivas, Pawan and Sai. Okay, if Srinivas has the six, like if any users, or that like simply if any user have more than six, means Srinivas can update the like case. Okay, and so in this approval work basket, let's say we have approval work basket. Okay, and in this approval work basket we have a cases like Q1, and then we have Q2, and then we have Q3. Okay, so this is the three cases we have. Okay, now when Srinivas will log in, he can update Q1, he can view that Q1. But when Pawan will log in, he can just only view that Q1. Okay, because both have the access to approval work basket, they can view the cases but cannot update. So now I want to implement this with RBAC, not with ABAC, which we have already learned, like how we can do that.
We can create two roles. In one role, we'll give the write and update access. In the other one, we'll give that as a zero, and we will give that roles to Srinivas and Pawan, to whom we
But
provide
Srinivas,
access.
and but if you create, how you will differentiate that, because this Srinivas, Pawan and Sai all have the same access group. So let's say if you're creating R1, right, so, and this access group has that R1. Okay, R1, R2, R3. So if you create, let's say if you're creating R4 and giving just to Srinivas, that will not be possible, right? Because role we can only give to user access group, right?
Yes. Yes. My access window, you can.
Srinivas, 100% correct. Okay, so then what we need to do, we need to create access when rule. Okay, 5 minutes back I told the same thing. I don't know where you guys are like focusing. Okay, 5 minutes back I told the same thing, that with RBAC also how we can do that. We can create access when rule. Okay, so instead of giving 5 to each and every, let's say in this role, if I have given that class, configured that class here, where is that role? Let's say this is my role, access group. Let me open that. Yeah, this is the role. Where is that role? So this is the role, and here I have given that 5. So instead of giving 5, I'll create the access when rule, and in that when rule I'll define the same condition, that if any users have more than 6, then he can view and update. Okay, more than 6 means he can view and update. For view, I'll create in this one. For view, obviously I'll give that same conditions here, and for update I'll give in this one. So same access when we can configure, getting it. So only who can view and who can update, depending on the condition. Got it or no? Hello.
Got it, Lalit.
What about others?
Yes, hello.
See, here we can create, right, can view. Let's say we can create can view, and in this one we will go, let's say we are creating a conditions, and here we can say that, okay, operator dot set clearance. Okay, let's say greater than or 5 or equal to 5. So this is how we can create one. And for write, we can create can update, and we can create another one, and we'll say the greater than 6, then he can do something like that. So we will be able to achieve it. Understood it?
Yeah, got it. Lalit. With the approach, Ganesh said like we have to create two rules, then we have to create separate user access group as well, right? That will be, our system will be overloaded with a lot of access groups in that case.
Yeah, so what will happen with that one? Okay, you need to create multiple access when condition. Okay, still we need to create access when conditions, but this can, it's not that it cannot be achieved with at like RBAC. It can be achieved. Okay, and before RBAC we were doing like this only, but now with ABAC, okay, this we can control from other places. So this is how we will do it from ABAC. Okay, so and it's not that ABAC job is to only do this one. There are like few more other things also for which ABAC helps us. Okay, but the functionality can be implemented from either of the places. Got it?
Yeah, got it. Lalit.
Yeah.
But in, yeah, but in operator where we are giving. Suppose for Srinivas it is going to accessible, and for Pawan it is
Yeah.
going for update.
Arey bhai, I told you na that when that this informations will come, it will be there on the operator page. So when that you access of things is happening, you'll have the email ID, you have the name, and then you'll stamp the security clearance as well. When you're
Okay.
doing while logging only. Got it?
Okay. It is handled in SSO only.
Yeah, it is handled in SSO, like let's say, and it is already present on the operator page. Before when you log in, this is already present. You need to assume that.
Okay.
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 If you read this one, right, this is the same thing Pega is saying. Okay, that same scenario here. Where is that? Same scenario. Numeric bandwidth top secret 1 and 2. So here Pega is comparing. See, Pega is also keeping on that operated security clearance. Okay, greater than less than equals to security clearance, and it is comparing. So you can read that. Now here you can see that. Okay, it's the read, update, discover, delete, property read, and property encrypt. Okay, so first one is the read. It's exactly same as what we had the read there. Means if you have the access to this read, you'll be able to like open the case and read it. Okay, like even though you are seeing somewhere this case, if you don't have access read, then you'll not be able to open even. Okay, so let's implement this read one first, and we'll see that. So for that, what we need to create, okay, to create that, like the way we were creating this and access to role object and other things, what we need to create for ABAC, we need to create this one, access control policy. So in security only you'll find this one, access control policy. So this is the first things we need to create. So here we need to select that actions, what we actions we are selecting. So we'll be selecting this one, okay, can read instances, let's say I'm creating this one. Okay, and I can create in work, or I can create in code. So I'll be creating in work. Okay, and then in access control policy we need to create access control policy condition. Okay, so here I'll give the same name. Okay, and then I'll create this one also. So these are the mandatory things which we need to create. Now here we need to add, so here it's like a when conditions. So the flexibility here is that you can add multiple conditions. So that flexibility is not there with access when and other things. Yes, you can do it, but it doesn't give that much flexible the way we have this one. So let me just give a property px create operator. Okay, so we created that. So what we did here, so this is the first rule we created with the read. So what it will do, it will only allow read instances to those users. Okay, for that users this when rule will be true. Okay, getting it? So again I'm repeating. So this, like we created on work, means that all the instances of work, okay, be it's a code, be it's a bgb or whatever. So this conditions means this conditions will satisfy. So you can see the conditional logic. So here you can see that condition is px create operator is not equals to null, means yes it is true. Px create, whenever we create a case, okay, out of the box px create operator is always not null, means we will have some value. So that means it will be true. So if it is true, then only you can read the instances. So let's see that if you can read the instances or not. Okay, so I'll just go and open that case. So means we are able to read that instances, not a problem, nothing is happen, like okay, we are able to do that. But now let's say I will return this one false from here. Okay, so I'll say is null, I'll check in. We need to check in this kind of rule. Okay, now if I go and try to open this case, let's see what is happening. See, I'm getting an error. Means what happened here, that these conditions returned false. Okay, so here I forcefully returned the conditions false. Okay, just to tell you, you can have the conditions, we'll see little more. Okay, but here what we are saying, that if this condition is true, then you'll be able to access. If this condition is false, you won't be able to access. So let's say here if I go here, if I want like Srinivas, okay, or the Pawan, even not to read, I need to configure that in that rule in such a way that for the Pawan, it should, the condition should come false, okay, so that Pawan will not able to update or Pawan will not able to view. So we created this one, we created this control policies only for view, okay. So whatever the conditions I'll configure, okay, if that condition is coming false, then he cannot view that. Getting it?
Yes.
What about others? Srinivas, did you got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cool. Now let's say that we want to have a conditions in this one, because with this one what will happen, no like even that these users can also not view, okay. Let's say that, okay, let's say this is author and we want this users to view, but now the way we have configured it, even he cannot access that. So now we need to add conditionally that only user access group, okay, cannot view, okay, but author can view that. So how we can do that? So we will create a when rule is, so here we'll say is user, okay, is user group. Is user group. So I'll just create, and let's create that. So in this one what we will be going to give, okay, I think we already have similar conditions, okay. Let me just copy that from there. So I'll go to decision, when rule. Yesterday I created a when rule. What I had created, access when created, access when. Okay, so now we created is user group, okay. So what we are saying, if user group is true, then go to A, okay, if otherwise go to B. So what is our like scenario, what we want for user, we want to return false, and for the other than users we want to return true. So what I'm saying is, if user group, okay, then go to A, and then A will return false, and then otherwise go to B. And in this one, so here I'm using px create operator, but depending on your conditions you can use anything, okay. And here I'm saying for other than user is not null. Let me know if you're getting it. So if you see logically, if you think, if the operator has that access group user, then from here this condition will be true, then it will go to A, and then A will be false. So user will not be able to read that cases. But other than user, this conditions will be false, then it will go here. And in B, what we are saying, px create operator is not null, and this will be true, so he can access that. Let's try that. Go to home. See, I'm able to access that, but let's go to that user. See, is not able to access it. So the conditionally also we did that. Getting it? Hello.
Got it, Lalit.
What about others? Pawan, did you got it?
Yes, got it.
Okay. So let me explain again. Okay. So for access control policy, what we need to do, simply we need to create conditions in such a way. So first we need to create access control policy, and then we need to create access control policy conditions. In this one, the benefit of this one is that it gives us a lot of flexibility to add multiple conditions. So we can use a number of conditions, that if let's say LOB is this one, then you follow this. If LOB is this, then follow this rule. And if LOB, and here you can add multiple also. You can use A and B and C, whatever. So it's a logic, okay. So it's giving a lot of flexibility. And then if you're creating for read access, that means that only those can read. For that, this when rule, this control policy will return true. If it is a false, then it won't allow to read. If you're using update, let's say, then if it is returning true, then you can update. If it is returning false, then you cannot update. So what I did here, I created a when rule, simple is user group, Okay, then I'm saying if user group is true, then go to A, and then I'm returning forcefully. Because I just did a POC kind of things, right? So I'm returning. You can use in your real-time project also these attributes. It's reliable. So here I'm saying if this is true, and then I'm forcefully returning false because I don't want that users to access that case. Okay, but other than user, okay, I'm saying B, and then PX create operator will never be blank. So this conditions will return true for the other than user. And I did the testing also. So for other than user, I'm able to view that cases, but for that user even I can't view that cases, right? Got it?
Yes, we got it.
Yeah, simple. Now for the let's say you want to do for update, simple do for update. Okay, same thing, but you cannot, you can even if you cannot read, then there is no point of this one updating. So right, so first what I'll do, I'll delete this one quickly for read. So means that reading will not stop. Now it will stop while updating. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, now if I'll go and try to read that cases, I'll be able to do that. See, but now if I try to submit, I'll be getting, see, I'm getting an error. See, you are not authorized to modify or lock instances. This is some different error. Let me see. Let me try the other case. See, I'm not able to do that. I think this is what, because it's, let me create a new case also and see. See, I'm not able to create the cases. Because why I'm not able to create it? Because I don't have access on, like to update on this class. Okay, and to create a case we need to save an instance in DB, right? So I don't have access, so I'm getting this error. Got it? Hello. So we,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we saw that read, update, and delete is same. Okay, delete also we have the same thing. No difference. If you have, like, let's say if you want to delete any cases or any instance of any, and this is not that you need to create only on work. You can create on any class assigned as work basket, assigned as work list, or applicant. Okay, just so the most times we do like on the cases. That is what I'm explaining on the case type. But this can be like possible on any classes. Okay, let's say applicant class, you can read applicant class, or you cannot write applicant class. So that kind of things you can do that for applicant also. So for any class. Then finally we have a delete, same thing for delete also. Discover, property, read, and encrypt. Okay, so I think I have created a video on that one, so please do watch for this one. Okay, property read I'll explain on a high level, and this is very useful. Okay, you must have seen that I have shared this video many times, SSN masking. Okay, so we get this requirement, and earlier how we used to do that. Okay, you must have seen this kind of things, right? That mask the card number, or that mask the SSN number, or mask that like this one, and just show that last 4 digit. Okay, so there we can use the property read. Okay, and again if the property read, like if the condition is returning false, means that you won't be able to read the property, and it will mask that. Okay, and how it will mask is like means basically like whatever the conditions you'll give, that mask first digit, first this many digit with a star or with this one hash. Okay, it will mask. Okay, so that's the property read. Property encrypt is the database. I didn't know if I didn't remember if I've created property read. I need to check. And discover, and this is for report. I've created a video, okay, on this one, so please do watch. It's not that mandatory, will not be, this is not be that much useful, but read, update, delete, and property read, you should do that POC definitely, and you should go and do it tomorrow. Okay, and if you face any issue, please let me know. Okay, but if you do it, you'll never forget. Again, I'm saying the same line. Okay, and it's very useful nowadays. As I told that in LSA exams or SSA exams, everywhere Pega is focusing too much on this one from last 4 years. Any question? Hello.
No, no, no.
Yeah, I'll quickly show you the property read. Okay, for discover you can watch the video, and encrypt I didn't remember you have if I've created or not. I'll show you read also. Okay, and then I'll take a few questions. Okay, Pawan has questions. So let's say Pawan, what I'll do, can read instances, right? So I'll save as this one only. Okay, and this time I'll say property read. Okay, can property read instances. So let me create one. So here we need to give that property. Okay, so let's say we want to give the property, let's say we have a test property. Okay, and we want to mask Like here you can see that some masking things is there, full mask, okay, all mask, all but last n, something like that, all but first n, all but first n, mask all but first n. Let me try that. Okay, so let's say here it is saying mask, you can see that which is like matching for you, and then do that. Okay, so now what will happen if I'll create a case test, and if I'm showing on the UI, okay, that things will come as a mask. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, so what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a case, but before creating a case I need to set that value. Okay, so I'll go here, TM work process and data transform. And PY default, I'll just set the value. Okay, test. So this kind of a things we get, right? So earlier what we used to do, we used to do substring. Okay, so the problem with that one is that on the clipboard also it used to update. So but you don't want your database value to disturb. Okay, you want to store in database correctly, but just on the UI. Okay, you don't want to show complete value. Okay, so now let's create a case, and also I'll add this that things on the UI somewhere. Okay, so that we can see. So what I'll be doing in create, I'll just add that on the UI also. So I'll simply do configure view, and here I'll add the test. Let's see if the test is coming. Test is not coming any here. Can anyone tell me the reason why the test property is not coming? Anyone?
It is not relevant.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so I'll just mark as a relevant. Now if I go, then I should see that. See, it came. So now we just added it. Let me submit. Okay, now let me create a case from here only. I think I have not given that update access, right? So I'll not be able to create case. So first I'll delete that. So if you'll go, you'll find here that access control policy condition. So I'll delete that update one. Okay, so that I'll be able to create the case, because mask will only come for that user. It won't come for this user because we have put the conditions in such a way. I'll delete this update as well. Okay, so just take a property read. Now let me create a case. Why the whole things is coming, masked is not coming. Property read. 1 second. Oh, I deleted that property read only. Access 1 second. Restore. Okay, so we have only one can property read. Save and close. See, right? So it is masking. Okay, 789 only, it's showing this much. Okay, but we can go and configure that, like how you want to see that masking things. Okay, masking unmasked characters 4 digit. Okay, display length matches value. Okay, total display, something like that. So these are like, you can do that combinations, that how it is looking. If I'll go and click save and close, if I create a new case, see, this is how we usually display, right? So we are masking all, we are showing all the digit. Okay, but just masking last 4 digits. So you can see that configurations here. So what configurations we did is that mask all but last n, not last n. So last 4 unmasked we are keeping, and then masking character we give a star. If you want to give hash or something, that also you can do that. And here display length is fixed, means display only 5 length. So here I'm saying no, display the length matches the value, means whatever the length it's there, just display the whole thing. Got it? So you will get these questions definitely in your like project. Okay, this kind of requirement, and also you'll get in interview. Okay, people will ask that, and the moment you will say that, right, I'll do substring and also, right. Obviously, we can do substring, right. We can replace. We can do substring and then replace. So that kind of answer you are giving, then he'll understand that you don't know ABAC. Sorry, ABAC. Got it? Hello.
Got it, sir. Got it, Pranit.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we covered that, and see, like, if I was knowing, so I taught you guys in 30 minutes only this one, right? And so now you need to get use the benefit. Now you understood the concept and other things, right? From where you'll get this rule and other things. So you should take the benefit of that one. I'll tell you very honestly, when I was learning, I spent like week or even a month to understand these all things, because that time it was new even to see here, right. We are seeing by default. Earlier we had that one DSS, okay, enable access control policy. So that one first you need to find out. So I see enable attribute based access security. Okay, so this was the DSS which you need to set true. Otherwise these things were not coming at all. But I think from 8 onwards or some onwards, Pega have made it default that it's always coming, but earlier even it was not coming. So I got this in CLSC exam, and I had to spend lot of time, okay, on this one to understand, to do that. But now, as I know, I explained quickly, and I did it like in front of you. I made like the live example and showed you, as at least I showed you on read, update and delete. It's like similar to read and update and property read, the important one. Discover, I didn't talk, but because I have a video on this one and it's not that useful for now, okay. And then property encrypt, which looks like Pega have added recently, because here it's not there, but in one article it's there. So maybe I'll check that property encrypt. And is database clipboard logs and in search indexes and no property. I'll see that. Okay. So take that benefit and please go and do this POC on this both the security things. So any questions? Okay. Any question? Pawan, you had some questions, right? Now you can go ahead and ask. If anyone have any security questions, please do ask me. Otherwise, please do the POC. I'll share the video. And otherwise, Pawan, you can go ahead with your question.
Sure. So, sir, suppose if we have a screen, okay, and we have 5 fields there,
Mm-hmm.
and out of which 3 fields are mandatory, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we miss any one of them, so it is displaying the general message like,
Yeah.
please, like fill this, like all the 3 fields. Like for even if I miss one field, it is even the general message, okay.
Yeah.
So what is happening? I check the validate rule.
Mm-hmm.
So in the validate rule, same message rule is being called,
Mm-hmm.
like for all the 3 mandatory
Yeah. Yeah.
fields.
Yeah.
But now my lead is saying that instead of that, what we need, like for every field, we need particular like message that please fill
Mm-hmm.
this field
Mm-hmm.
or please fill this field. So what I thought, then I can use this parameters, but then I came to know that like from the validate rule, like we cannot call like any parameters, like we cannot pass parameters for that message rule.
Okay.
So I asked my lead, like instead of giving any message rule, we can direct give the message itself. But then that lead is saying, no, you have to use the message rule, the same message rule, and customize in such a way that like for all the 3 fields, it should give 3 different values. So is it possible, sir?
Yeah, it is possible. Okay, not a problem. So let me understood your requirement. Okay, so you have a 3 field. Okay, let's say you have SSN, you have email. Okay, and then you have email. Okay, and then you have a requirement of let's say another for property account number. Let's say.
Phone number. Okay.
Yeah, 3 account number. So your requirement is that if it is, first of all, if it is just a mandatory, if I would never suggest to use that just for mandatory. Use validate rule. Okay, so this is my personal things. Okay, like not my personal things. Basically, Pega is also saying thing. Why you need to do mandatory on submit, right? That is not required. And if you're doing that marking checkbox required, then Pega will automatically show that out of the box message. So this is one thing. The second point is that even if you want to do that in that one, so let's say you want to display a message like that. Okay, mandatory, enter let's say enter okay SSN. Okay, let's say enter SSN value. For the second one, you have a comment, enter email and enter account number. So let's say this is your requirement. So this can be the one requirement. The okay. So here you can see that the variable is SSN, email, and account number. These are the like kind of a. Otherwise, the message rule is same, right?
Otherwise.
Yeah, there can be scenario that okay you have a totally different message for all three. Okay, then you can create a three rule, right? But if this is the case, then you can just like parameterize this rule. Okay, and you can just pass that. For SSN you can pass SSN, for email you can pass email, and for account number you can pass account number, right? So
sir, but we are not able to pass
no, but you that is a different thing, but you understood it, right? So either you can go with one message or you can go with the multiple message. Now so your question is that how we can pass that so if you go to masses, right, so we see the masses under technicals. Okay, so if you open any masses, okay, let's say that mandatory something like that, let me see if you'll find that mandatory. Is there any mandatory things is there? Okay, so this is the out of the box one. I think please fill all mandatory things. Okay, let's say that you customize this one, you save as this one. Okay, and we are saving to okay base class, not a problem. And instead of fill mandatory, I'll just remove pz. Obviously pz will not work. So now okay, please fill mandatory fields. Okay, and then I'll say one parameter one, and then here I can say like this one.
Yeah, parenthesis and one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so this is done. I think you just need to find out the syntax. I didn't remember the syntax. Okay, let me try that. Okay, I can search in PDN. I have done this one. Okay, so you can able to do that, not a problem. Now
I was saying something in PDN, but it was not working.
no, I can ping you that syntaxes. I need to see. Let me see that. Okay, so basically when you are configuring, right, so let's say we have a process, okay, called flow action, and then in create. So here if you have that validation, right, let's say create one validate create. Let's create quickly. See, this is how like how quickly I try to do that, right? I show that like this is how you guys can also do that. Just you need practice, more and more practice, more and more time you need to spend. And if you think that honestly I think if you think that oh like we have to do the office, so see I also do the office. It's not that, and to make like when I come to this class, right, I also read something. It's not that I directly come and I'll keep talking, right? So you need to spend some time, put some effort. But once you put effort, once you learn, then fine, okay, you are good. So but I don't have to spend that much time. Okay, I just need to quickly take a look, because like I have done like my like I've put already that much hard work. So please do that. Okay, so now your comment is this one, right? Like here let's say that I'll configure string and second relations. Okay, so test equals to blank, right? This is what you were saying, right?
Yes.
So now here you need to give the masses. Okay, so you need to give masses like mandatory fields, fill mandatory fields. Okay, so this is how you need to do that. But now you're facing issue in passing the parameter, right, Pawan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let's I'll ping you that syntax. Even I didn't remember, but now if I'll try and do, I'll get an error. See, I'm getting that error. Now I need to pass that. Let me search in PTN once. Pass parameter to filled value in Pega. I think I have done this one. Okay, I'll ping you that. Okay, 200% sure I have done. Okay, there was a requirement in my project, and initially also I was thinking it will not work, but eventually it worked. But fine, I'll ping you. So you just need the syntax, right? I understood it. So this is
Yes,
how
yes.
something like that slash t. Let me see slash t. This is it. This is the person says pinged. Okay. Slash t. Let me try once. What is the syntax? This one in code. Let's say. I have tried and it worked. Slash t. Okay. Plus I'll just say, let's say test. Let's see if it is working or not, but like I have done this one, so I can ping you. See, came, right? Got it, Pawan? Pawan, you there?
Sorry, sir, I was talking on good. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it came, right? If I'll pass like email, let's say you were doing for test, we're passing email test. If you're doing for email, just pass email. See, it came, right? So this is the syntax, very easy syntax. If you want to pass dynamic value, that also you can do. Instead of in colon, you can just like use the variable. Okay, any other question? What about others? Did we got understood the requirement and what solutions we took? Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, this is very useful things. Okay, what happens is that many of the times we pass that field value and we need to pass the parameter, and this is not only for message, even for the history or for anything. Okay, this is very much useful, so you should know the syntax. Okay, uh, uh, another example, if I'll to tell you, okay, let's say if I'll go to flow. Okay, we do this kind of things when we do add history or anything, right? So here if you see, let me see if we have instructions for label. So we pass this syntax from anywhere. So here also we can, let me see if, so this syntax is very much important. Okay, you must be knowing. Let's say I'm using add history. I'll show you another example. Okay, so let's say to add that history, so I'll just drag a shape. I'll say add history. So this kind of requirement you'll get a lot. Okay, add history. So here let's say I'll create add history, something like that. Yeah, add history. So what happens, it asks the memo. So memo we can give like, right, this is my history. Let's say this is my history. So if I'll just submit, okay, it will add in the history. Let me create a case. Let's check that history. See, quickly you learn that how to add the history also. So you can see that this is my history. But now if I want to parameterize this history, I want to add something else also, like dynamically. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, we'll create this one py memo of type history. So field value will find here, field value. So py memo or something is there for history. Message of type we create for history. What we create history for? What type of create? I forget that. Let me check that. Yeah, py history memo. So let's say I'll just save as that one, and here I'll say py history memo. I'll create in, instead of, yeah, I can create anywhere, not a problem. Okay, so instead of item created, I'll say this is this is my history. Okay, create. And to define that, you can define multiple parameter, not a problem. And if you syntax right, you can pass multiple things. It's not that you need to you can only pass one, you can pass multiple parameters. So here, this is here in this one we have options here, so you need to say like 1, you need to say like 2. Okay, that's it. This, and then you can say this is my history, this is my history for case type, for case type, and then we'll say 1 for something like that. Like let's say I have use only one value, you can pass 2 also, not a problem. Now I'll go and use this one like the way I used in the flow, right? So I'll just say like this is my history slash t plus dot py label. So py label is what? It will pass the dynamic value. Okay, so py label is the code. You can see that code. Alright, so this is the py label on clipboard. Let's create a case. Let's check the history. See, this is my history for case type code. Okay, so this is how we pass the parameter. Okay, let me just, I need to pass, if I'll just pass one more, just something else. I'll just pass the test also. Okay, and then I'll say test two parameters. So on my case the test value is there, so if I'll go here, where is the flow? So here I can do like this, plus py label plus slash t. Each time you need to add slash t plus dot test. So just for, I'll ping this one also. If you copy this one, it will be very helpful. I mean, obviously if you search in PDN at that time you'll get it. Even we do not remember all those things, but like yes, we have the experience. Okay, so we know that at least it is possible. Like Pawan was even not able to determine that it's possible or not. This is my history for case type. Why the t is not coming? I think I have given the correct syntax only, slash t plus dot test. Let me see. Oh, I think I didn't define here. Okay, so and something like that, we need to use this too, right? Now it will come. So the first things, we should know that this is possible, and then obviously if you know that possible, you can find out the solutions. I was knowing that this is possible, but I didn't remember the syntax, so I searched it. See, it came, right? So we passed that to also. So I'll just ping this one to you guys again, this one also. So this is our example. Okay, any other things, or shall we close the class? Okay, then I'll ping you when will be the next class. Okay.
One final question.
Yeah, go ahead, Sai. Yeah, don't.
I'm not sure like when we have to go with field values. There are many alternatives to field values, right? So in what cases we should be creating a field value?
If you ask me, we should always go for the field value. Okay. Even for property also, we should create that. We usually do not create what we do in property. Let's say if I've created test property, right? So wherever it is possible, right, for history, for memo, okay, for everything we should go for the field history. Okay, and for the masses also we should go for the field value, means the masses rule is like a field value only. So we should always go for the caption also, we should go. But for the captions, what we are doing nowadays, like we define in the property only, right? So here I have selected test. So what we'll be doing in the sections, what we do, in sections we just mark that take from that what I should say, take from the property itself. So it takes the value. But if you are not doing that, okay, so here if you see what I pick up, but by default mark that as it like this one. But if you are doing like this, you should always create a field value, and especially your application is going for language translations, definitely you should create the field value. For this one, people are avoiding because in that way they have to create a lot. But uh, if any applications is going for translations, then they are creating for this one also. So in that way, what will happen, it will translate to the other language. So we should create, like if you ask me, wherever you are getting a chance to create, you should always create. Okay, you should create for that placeholder also. For placeholder also we should create that. So where,
So,
yeah.
so primary use is only for the localization, is it?
Yes, yes, primary use for the localize. No, there is one more uses. Like yes, obviously for that localizations. But let's take an example that you created this message, right? This is my history, and this rule is, let's say you hard coded this one in that flow. Let's say, so and you need this in your applications 10 places. So you hard coded in 10 places. Now you got a requirement that I want to add something to this history. So if you do that, what you need to do? You need to go and manually update those 10 places, right? But if you have created a field value, you can do it from one place only, right? So it's not only for translations, it's also for usability, right? One creating one rule using in 10 places. If you hard code it in 10 places, you need to update in 10 places, right? So got it, Sai?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So whenever we are getting a chance, okay, as a junior, if you're junior, try to make this practice that you should always create a field value for, for masses, for captions, for placeholder, like wherever you are getting an opportunity. Even if you see Pega has created for many of the things, and we get this benefit, right? So field value, what will happen? So like Pega has given a final rule. Let's say you created a final rule and you don't want them to modify, but you want them to at least modify the label, right? So that label they can save us and they can modify, right? So that also is one of the benefit. Getting it what I told? Let's say here this is coming, right? This is what it is. Like if I'll go to it, here it is, the code detail is coming. Let's say you are giving to someone and you want that someone should have a different value on code details. So if you're giving a field value for this one, okay, they can modify. They don't have to change to whole flow actions, they just have to change the field value. But for flow actions and all, I haven't seen that people are creating, but yes, we can do that for this one also. Flow actions, right? If you see here in the flow actions, right, here is the flow actions. So whatever the value we give here, right, that comes on the UI. So instead of this one, you can give short descriptions obviously for this one, but you can create a field value also. If you Pega checks that for the same name, if you have the field value, it will take that value, otherwise it will take this one. Okay, if I have to show you, okay, field value view, I think it takes the caption if I'm not wrong. Okay, let me just see that. What does that I'll put create. Let's create. Okay, here actually create is not coming. That is where there is not much benefit. It's a new code, it's not taking that one. But if I'll do for the code details, see, that is not still it's coming. Maybe I need to create a different type, but Sai, yeah, you can you got it right. I just need to find out that which PY captions or what which short description I need to see that it's not taking, but that's fine. I need to see that, yeah, it could be the PY label. I think PY label we need to create. So, any other question? Yeah, I think we need to create PY label. Where I had created this one. If I'll create with PY label, it will work. See, many things we are learning, just that like I'm always doubting because you guys are not doing POC. The amount of knowledge I'm giving, right? The amount of things we're discussing a lot. Just that you need to try. Okay, so if I in place of you, I we tried this one, right? I'll quickly and do the POC. It's like 10 minutes job. Once I'll do that, okay, fine. I'll never forget these things. Somehow it's still not picking. Fine, yeah, we will see that later. But this is how we need to do that. Okay, any other question?
Sir,
Yeah.
yesterday we discussed in the weight shape when you taking case dependency as term,
Hmm.
this SLA in the system queue service level is taking effect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For suppose if we take a case weight type as a case dependency,
Mm-hmm.
is there any SLA will take it?
Yeah, for that also we talked, right? It's creating SLA only. Just that, like the SLA conditions will be different. Did you try that one?
Actually, I tried for timer, it is showing in system queue service level.
Mm-hmm.
When I selecting case dependency, it is not showing in the
Okay, but
system
then
queue
maybe
service.
for the case dependency they're creating some trigger or something. I need to check that.
No, that will be there in a separate class. I think system service level case dependency, there is service class, another class.
Okay, maybe I've never checked that much. Like, but yeah, let me see that. So you were saying, Sikant, like you have a different class under service level only.
Yes, system queue case dependency, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a separate agent is being used for case dependency.
Okay. Okay. Case type. Okay. Case dependency. There is no class. What is the class? In which class that is queuing? Could be flow dependency. Could be flow dependency. Yeah, yeah. So maybe it will queue. So just check that. Okay. So nuance after creating, just check on these classes if you're seeing that instance. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you. We'll close the class. Bye.